Welcome to DD India's election news headquarters, where we get you all the buzz as it happens, as election is slowly chugging, moving towards phase 6 and 7. Judgment Day 7th or 4th of June is what we are looking forward to. But the action picking up phase, this particular phase 6, having 6 states, 2 union territories. Let's get started with what's in store tonight. Well, we are looking at phase 6, but remember, the entire south, the entire western region is over and out. So we don't have 2 regions, the central part of India almost done. So 3 regions from our regular charts missing. So we just got the northern part of India and the eastern part of India. Our focus tonight is going to be on the eastern part of India. In the east, you've got Bihar, West Bengal with 8 seats, Odisha with 6, Jharkhand with 4. So put that together, that's 24 seats in the eastern region that we are focusing tonight. A quick look at the seats in each of the state. First up is Bihar, voting day 6th phase. Bihar, if you look, all the 8 seats in Bihar are from the northern part of Bihar. So the entire seats that you see, these lot of seats, Paschim Champaran, Purvi Champaran, Maharajganj, Vaishali, Siwan, Valmiki Nagar, all from northern part of Bihar or North Bihar is where primarily this particular phase of election will be playing out. West Bengal, remember West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, all 7 phases of election, you see a role that these 3 states has. In West Bengal that you are seeing, West Bengal, most of the seats are in the southern plains, 3 seats in the southern plains and rest 5 from the plains that you would see. So it's an interesting battle, especially Mednipur, Purlia, Tamluk, all interesting battles that one can look forward to in this phase of election from West Bengal. Shifting to the next state, Odisha. Odisha, you've got again close to 6 seats, but a major chunk of the seats coming from coastal Odisha. You've got 1 seat in northern Odisha and 1 seat in west Odisha. Sambalpur comes in west Odisha. Northern Odisha, you've got Keonjhar. Rest of the seats are generally from the coastal Odisha region in this phase of elections. A final look at Jharkhand. Jharkhand, remember, and Jharkhand and Odisha came into the election cycle in that 5th phase. So it's interesting, you know, they have the 4th phase, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th is how they play out. So you'll have a role that Jharkhand also will play in these elections, but it's generally, you know, Dhanbad that comes in Chota Nagpur region, rest all regions would be interesting. Jamshedpur, capital Ranchi, how this election, you know, plays out for these regions is going to be interesting to watch from phase 6 of India's parliamentary elections. A quick look at how election results from these 24 seats have gone in 2019. BJP getting a chunk of it. If you put the 58 seats in this phase, 40 are with the BJP. Of the 40, 14 are with the BJP in the eastern part. BJD with 4. That's Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee with 3. JDU, JDU, that's Nitish Kumar's party having 3. AJSU and LJP picking 1 seat. So that's how those 24 seats are there. In the east, you've got NDA that's got the lion's share, 19 seats. The opposition bloc has nothing in this phase of election or in the eastern part of India. Others, 7. We are putting the JDU, not the JDU, the BJD and the Trinamool Congress in the 7 seats put together. Radha Mohan Singh looking for a 4th term from this particular seat. Remember, this particular seat that he fights from, Purvi Champaran, was earlier Motihari, from where he's fighting. This time around, Purvi Champaran looking for a 4th time return to parliament from there. Lovely Anand fighting from Shiohar. You know, many remember it, whether she's going to carry forward, you know, especially the work that her husband has done. You know, is she going to be able to deliver the same magic there? She faces stiff opposition from Ritu Jaiswal for that seat. Moving to Siwan, you've got Awadh Bihari Chaudhary there fighting this election on a RJD ticket. This particular seat in Siwan is important. Remember that Shahabuddin, shadow looms on that seat time and again. This is the seat from where India got its first president. Dr. Rajendra Prasad comes from this particular seat in Siwan. Finally, Sambit Patra, the man in the news for all the wrong reasons. Will that prove to be an Achilles heel, or does he have the firepower? 2019 elections, the margin of defeat was a little over 11,000. Can he bridge that gap 5 years later? That's worth looking out for. Dharmendra Pradhan making his debut in the elections, Lok Sabha elections, looking for a big change in fortunes there, fighting from that seat in Sambalpur. Matab has been a 5-time MP looking for another return, but he's had a change in guard. He shifted to the BJP. Will the people of the region back him? That's the big question. You're shifting to the next seat in West Bengal. You've got Dr. Subhas Sarkar fighting in West Bengal, fighting from the seat in Bankura. There's a doctor. There are 2 lawyers in that fight. So it's a fight of, people in professions, and it's going to throw some interesting number. Finally, Agnimitra Paul fighting from Mednipura, and she's taking on a Bengali cine television star in June Malia, and that's going to be interesting. Remember, Trinamool Congress believes in giving first-timers ticket, and they have shown us interesting results earlier too. Are we seeing a similar role this time around? That's worth looking out for in these elections. This election season, we have been trying to get many, various voices when it comes to the elections on, opportunities that the Election Commission gives, especially when it comes to benefits benefits or advantages when it comes to various sections of the society. Today, our look is at the Tibetan folk. How do they enjoy this festival of democracy? We've got Anu Kaushik getting us the details.
This is Majnu Ka Tila, or the new Arunanagar colony in the Indian capital of New Delhi. It comes under the Chandni Chowk Lok Sabha constituency. The area, which houses a Tibetan refugee settlement, has a population of over 3,000. Its residents first came to India in the late 1950s after the Chinese invasion of Tibet. But it was only in 2014 that Tibetans got voting rights in India. Notwithstanding the small size of their electorate, locals here are vocal about their expectations from leaders in the 2024 general elections. Some want the incumbent Narendra Modi-led government to return to power owing to its policies for development.
मोदी जी दोबारा बनेंगे तो भारत का तरक्की जरूर होगा लग रहा है।
बीजेपी का जो सरकार है आउटर लेयर्स देगा एज ए लाइक भारत देश के मुकाबला काफ़ी इंडिया आगे आ चुका है।
While others want their political representatives to address civic issues.
यमुना की साइड से जो रोड दिखते हैं, रोड में थोड़ा सा बना कच्चा वच्चा ऐसे पूरी तरह से बना नहीं है, उसको हम बनाने का अनुरोध कर रहे हैं.
For women in this colony, issues like safety and government schemes have gained prominence.
दिल्ली में बचपन से बैठे यहाँ पे थोड़ी सेफ्टी नहीं है. ऐसे यंग लड़के लोग बेले लोग ऐसे हैं, सेफ्टी ऐसे नहीं है, ये थोड़ा सही करो.
मोदी जी तो अच्छा है, सब कुछ जो करते हैं ना, सब हर चीज़ ध्यान करते हैं. अभी गैस भी कम हो गया ना है ना, इसीलिए अच्छा है.
In 2013, a Karnataka High Court ruling led to the issuance of an Indian passport to a Tibetan born in India. The ruling also paved the way for granting Indian citizenship to Tibetans born in the country between 1950 and 1987. In light of the ruling, the Election Commission issued a directive to enroll Tibetans born in the specified timeline in the electoral rolls. Meanwhile, local leaders are optimistic that the number of Tibetan voters will rise in the subsequent elections.
वोटर कार्ड बनाने की इच्छुक यहाँ पे सब है. अब थोड़ा सा जागरूक हो रहा है. अब इस इलेक्शन ना हो तो अगले इलेक्शन में जरूर तादाद ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे.
From foreign policy to infrastructure, a range of issues have taken the center stage for Tibetans, a community in which political awareness is on the rise. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Anu Kaushik reporting for DD India from Majnu Ka Tila in New Delhi.
Well, time now to get a perspective there from our reporters on the ground on how this particular phase of election is panning out. Three journalists joining us. Vishal Barrister joining us from West Bengal. We've got Aman Kumar Himanshu joining us from Jharkhand. Salman Haider joining us from Bihar to take this deliberation forward. Let me first come to you, Vishal. Looking at West Bengal having a role to play in all 7 phases, how do you see this particular phase of election? Big names in the election fray, but the political journey that's been there across the 5 phases. Anything in particular in the 6th phase that you've noticed and picked up?
Well, very good evening to you, Anil. We've been telling our viewers how important this state is, along with Bengal, which has 42 seats. You have Bihar 40, and then UP 80 seats, and all going to 7 phases. I'm here in Medinipur, or Midnapur in Hindi. Let me tell you that the 5th phase was quite interesting. While the other states, they did not show much interest in the voting percentage, West Bengal's 5th phase crossed 73%, and now that's quite interesting. Talking about the seat where I am talking from is the Midnapur or Medinipur. Here 2 stars are in the fray, and both are first timers. While June Malia, the sitting MLA, has been pitched for this MP election by the TMC, and she is taking on the might of BJP in the name of Agnimitra Paul, who is a fashion designer in the Bollywood, which is the Indian film industry. And we all know that she had a very lively road show with Mithun Chakraborty, the film star of the Indian films, coming to help her, to seek votes for her, and he even said that she has designed dresses for him. So it is an interesting contest here, but let me tell you that Dilip Ghosh, the leader of BJP in Bengal, BJP does not have that much footprint in Bengal, and it is trying to increase its footprint. Last time it got only 18 seats. But interestingly, Dilip Ghosh has been sent to another constituency, while Agnimitra Paul has been given a chance to contest from this place. And talking about another constituency, that is Jhargram, there also the sitting MP was changed, and Dr. Pranat Tudu was given the opportunity to take on the alliance candidate, which is Ms. Murmu. So it is going to be an interesting contest, but Bengal has to prove itself. Both the image of Mamata Banerjee and also Prime Minister, who has been putting in many efforts here, is at stake as far as Bengal is concerned.
Okay, let's shift to Jharkhand. Aman Kumar joining us. Aman, Ranchi, Dhanbad, vote in this particular phase. How is the battle of Jharkhand shaping up?
Definitely, Anil. First, very good evening to you. Well, indeed, the political battle is quite intense this time in Jharkhand. Now, if you talk about the overall Jharkhand political scenario, then the BJP in 2019, BJP won 11 seats out of 14. In 2014, BJP bagged 12 seats out of 14.
True.
But this time the scenario, the BJP wants to makes a hat trick with winning the 3rd time.
Okay.
Now coming to Ranchi, if I say BJP filled Sanjay's seat from the Ranchi constituency, whereas the Congress has filled Yashaswini Sahai, who is the daughter of former Union Minister Subhakant Sahai. Now coming to the Dhanbad, the BJP filled Dolo Mehto from the Jharkhand constituency, and the Congress has filled Anupma Singh, who is the women candidate.
Okay.
Now going back to the data that I have given earlier about the BJP, about the 12 seats and 11 seats. Now it shows how the BJP has a strong hold over the state. But now this time the Congress also filled a good candidate. Then it also give an intense fight. So I think battle is going to be intense, and ultimately I think the voters will decide the fate of candidate on the 25th May.
Okay, so it's a close contest there in Jharkhand for the 4 seats of Dhanbad, Ranchi, Jamshedpur and Girid. Well, right. Now moving to Bihar. Salman Haider joining us. Salman, North Bihar, all the 8 seats from that region in this particular phase. Anything interesting that one can look forward to in the battles that we are seeing, especially in Purvi Champaran, Paschim Champaran, Shiohar, Shiwan, Vaishali or Maharajganj?
There is one interesting thing, Anil. That in Siwan, as you already said, RJD stalwart Awadh Bihari Chaudhary is up against Hina Shah. And who is Hina Shah? She is wife of notorious gangster Shahabuddin, who had been MP before going to jail in a heinous crime. She is fighting independent as an independent candidate, and she is trying to gain there and woo the voters, especially on the caste and religious lines. That may be interesting, and I'll tell you that all the 8 seats which are going to fall in on 25th of this month are of NDA. NDA had got almost out of 40 seats, got 39 seats last time. So NDA is also trying very hard to retain those seats as well as get the remaining 1 seat, I mean 40 upon 40. The fight is very tough, and both the factions, I mean NDA and ND, are trying very hard to woo the voters in their favor. Campaigning today ended, and 40% seats are there to take in 2 phases, last 2 phases, 8 each. On 25th and 1st of June. So the fight is tough, and many stalwarts' fate is at stake. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate all 3 of you. Vishal Baristo joining us from West Bengal, Aman Kumar and Salman Haider joining us from Bihar. Well, time now to get our experts into this deliberation. Chakshu Roy from the PRS Legislative joining us. Aditi Tandon, Associate Editor there from the Tribune joining us. Chakshu, your opening thoughts on this particular phase? Something that's different that we have seen from the previous 5? Or something in particular, that makes this particular phase, interesting to look out for?
I know it's always interesting to, hear the views of the correspondents in the field. And one of the things that I noticed that each of them said is that the bouquet of candidates that voters will have a choice from. So in Odisha, there will be Mr. Bhartarari Mehta, who's already served 5 terms in Lok Sabha, going on for his 6th term, so an experienced legislator versus first-timers in West Bengal or in Bihar. So that's one interesting thing that's, that this second last phase of polls has for us. And I think the other part is that as the election phases draw to an end, what is the strategy for political parties to campaign on these seats?
Okay.
Because in this day of 24-hour television, news media, social media, the electorate in these populations has already been exposed to campaigning across the other 5 phases.
Okay.
So what is the message that voters in these constituencies are going to be looking forward to? The last part that I would like to make, a quick comment before I hand it back to you is that in the eastern part of the country, the regional parties have a big sway. And in the last elections, the ruling alliance was quite successful. So it will be, it remains to be seen. I don't like to refer to electoral contests as fights. So it will be interesting to see as to what the electoral contests between national political parties and regional political players. How does that play out is something that we'll see in this.
Okay, let me get Aditi on board. I stand corrected from changing that fight to a contest. Aditi, looking at this particular phase of election, how do you see, at least Bihar, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh all have, seen this battle cry from phase 1 to phase 6. Does something different change? What's something that we need to look forward to?
See, what's very striking about this particular phase to me is I will watch out for the Tamluk constituency in West Bengal very keenly, and so will several political observers, simply because it was in Nandigram Assembly constituency of Tamluk Lok Sabha segment that Mamata Banerjee was defeated in the last assembly election by Suvendu Adhikari. So when we look at Tamluk, where the BJP has fielded a very interesting, controversial former High Court Judge Abhijit Gangopadhyay, who stands censured by the Election Commission for certain undignified remarks, is that it is not really a contest between BJP and TMC candidates. It's a battle of prestige between Mamata Banerjee and Suvendu Adhikari, the leader of opposition. So that's one. That's a very important takeaway from this phase in Bengal. Bihar, I want to mention. Anil, Bihar is a very interesting phase this time because this is the phase where gangsters and their wives are ruling the roost, literally. I can count 3 from what your correspondents told me and from my little memory that I have. The first is, Shohar, where we have lovely Anand in the fray, the wife of Anand Mohan Singh. Anand Mohan Singh, who came out recently because JDU had tweaked certain prison codes to get him out early. He was facing life sentence in the killing of an IAS officer who had been killed in 94. His wife is in fray. Now you come to Shivan, which also your correspondent mentioned. Hena Shabab. The wife of Shahabuddin is in fray, and I think she is queering the pitch for the RJD candidate. She is getting a lot of traction on the ground, is what we hear from the field. Because you see, Shahabuddin was the man who helped Lalu Prasad set up RJD in the formative years. Gradually what happened when Shahabuddin fell on bad days, obviously Lalu Yadav also kind of abandoned the family, did not even give any Rajya Sabha ticket to Hena Shabab. So she has actually jumped in the fray saying that I will take revenge for my late husband. And the third interesting seat is Vaishali, which is the first recorded republic in the world, which is the birthplace of Lord Mahavira and the place where Lord Buddha delivered his last sermon. Who is in contest there? Again, a very famous gangster, Munna Shukla, on the ticket of RJD against a strong man's wife again. So it's a very interesting. I was hearing Chakshu, who was saying that we have experienced lawmakers in the fray. Of course, we have experienced lawmakers like Bhartohari Mahatab, who's a very diligent, extremely articulate MP in the fray in Odisha, and on the other hand there is this very stark contrast. So there's this very strange interplay which in a way I must say enriches Indian democracy, that there are all kinds of flavors at play.
Okay, Chakshu, looking at this phase, anything in Bihar, North Bihar and also West Bengal, 2 states that we have seen this political pitch battle across the 5 phases. So is there any takeaway that one can look forward to, looking at 6th and also as we head into 7th?
I think the important takeaway from both West Bengal and Bihar would be that the electorate, so both West Bengal and Bihar are states where the electorate is very politically conscious. I'm sure Aditi and you, when you've traveled across the country, West Bengal stands as an outlier where newspapers are pasted at tea shops where people come, they have their morning tea or their afternoon or evening teas, and they read the newspapers there. So politics is almost in the blood of most people, where people actively follow candidates, people actively follow alliances. Aditi made 1 or 2 very interesting points, especially with regard to Bihar, which is the fray of strong men, and which then raises a question for a democracy as big as ours as to what is it the incentive that political parties have to give tickets to strong men. Is it about winnability? Is it about making a point? Or is it about the fact that and why does the electorate elect some of these strong men? Is it because they're able to get things done for the constituency on the ground? So these, add to the flavor of democracy. They are also reflective of what Indian society is. It has a range of people. It has a range of candidates, and what you see in on the ballot box on a particular day is reflective of what is it that people are looking for in their public representatives.
Okay. Aditi, a quick thought, especially on Puri. This particular election in Odisha, winning Puri has become a matter of pride for all the players or all the political parties as well as the candidates in this election fray. Having said that, how does one take a look at two people there? Sambit Patra fighting on a BJP ticket, taking on Arun Patnaik, who's a Mumbai Police Commissioner, former Mumbai Police Commissioner in this election fray.
See, Sambit Patra of the BJP is somebody, you may not like him, but you can't ignore him. He makes headlines all the time, whether it is for the right or the wrong reason. So he said something and he's on a penance for that, which is a very good thing. I also am reminded that Sucharita Mohanty, the Congress candidate, suddenly pulls out of the contest saying, I have no money to run my campaign. So let's not forget the grand old party that once dominated Odisha's electoral landscape is in such terminal decline there. Puri's significance is not lost on anyone, Anil. It is a historic spiritual city. And obviously Sambit Patra is looking to win it after having lost it to Pinaki Mishra in the last election. And we get a sense from the field that this time, overall from Odisha, BJP is expecting huge gains. In fact, Odisha with West Bengal is one of the key eastern states from where BJP thinks it is going to expand its base.
Okay.
So that is the significance of Puri. Bengal again is very interesting. It reminds me of a small nugget that although of late Bengal has been in the news for poll violence, you might not remember, or maybe you have read, that India's first chief election commissioner, who put us on the terra firma of democracy by conducting the 1952 Lok Sabha election, was from West Bengal, was the first chief secretary of West Bengal, Sukumar Sen. So I have no idea how Bengal got where it got.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate both of you, Chakshu Roy and Aditi Nandan, for joining us in the studios. Well, the Great Indian Election is your one-stop show on weekdays on all that matters in India's general elections of 2024. What will be our theme of discussion on Friday night? A sneak peek. The sixth phase of India's parliamentary elections on the 25th of May sees 58 constituencies across 6 states and 2 union territories go to polls. We analyze the states from the north and the 32 seats from the region. Delhi and Haryana brave the heat while Uttar Pradesh continues the ballot rush. Watch the analysis from the states in the north on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India. Well, with that, it's a wrap of this edition of the Great Indian Election. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. Good night, stay safe, take care.